We should all be feminists. So I would like to start by telling you about one of my greatest friends, 영어습관만들기. Oklahoma lived on my street and looked after me like a big brother. If I like a boy, I would ask Oklahoma's opinion. Oklahoma died in the notorious Sosolina plane crash in Nigeria in December of 2005. Almost exactly 7 years ago, Oklahoma was a person I could argue with, laugh with, and truly talk to. He was also the first person to call me a feminist. I was about 14. We were at his house arguing. Both of us breathing with heavy knowledge from books that we had read. I don't remember what this particular argument was about, but I remember that was I argued and argued. Oklahoma looked at me and said, "You know you're a feminist." It is not a compliment. I could tell from his tone. The same tone that you do use to say something like, "You're a supporter of terrorism." I did not know exactly what this word feminist meant. And I did not want Oklahoma to know that I did not know. So I brushed it aside and I continued to argue. And the first thing I planned to do when I got home was to look up the word feminist in the dictionary. Now, fast forward to some years later, I wrote a novel about a man who, among other things, beat his wife, and whose story doesn't end very well. While I was promoting the novel in Nigeria, a journalist, a nice, well-meaning man, told me he wanted to advise me. And for the Nigerian here, I'm sure we are all familiar with how quick our people are give unsolicited advice. He told me that people were saying that my novel was feminist, and he was shaking his head sadly as he spoke was that I should never call myself a feminist, because feminists are women who are unhappy because they cannot find husbands. So I decided to call myself a happy feminist. Then an academia Nigerian woman told me that feminist was not our culture, and then feminist wasn't African, and that I was calling myself a feminist because I had been corrupted by Western books, which amused me because a lot of my early reading were decidedly unfeminist. I think I must have read every single Mills and Boone romance published before I was 16, and each time I tried to read these books called the feminist classics. As I got bored, I really struggled to finish them. But anyway, any feminist was an African. I decided that I would now call myself a happy African feminist.